everyone. This is Swapnali, and with my co-host Anurag from SciComm India, we have with us today Dr. Anil Bareja, who is the Managing Director of Bareja Solar and Projects Private Limited, and a seasoned professional with cross-functional industry experience of above 41 years. Well known in the solar and the polymer industry, along with a rich experience and expertise on a wide variety of industrial projects in myriad of domains, he owns business venture in manufacturing, technical consultancy, and turnkey projects in the industry. Dr. Bareja has presented conference on the rural electrification by renewable energy with special focus on the solar energy. Apart from this, he has organized many conferences, talks, seminar on topics such as solar energy, environment, polymers, and the waste management. He is also a part of the committee of Plasti India, the second largest polymer industrial show in the world. In addition to this, he has started the industry student chapter for faculty, MTech and BTech students for Delhi Technological University, IIT Delhi, YMCA University, and some other universities as well. Dr. Bareja has worked on the advisory board of several projects and also on government guidelines regarding upgradation of solar-based e-vehicles and advising them of how solar power can be used judiciously and properly. He has also advised design and he has also advised the design and making of solar car as an incubation project to the university students. Apart from this, Dr. Bareja has also spread the awareness of the waste management issues, and he's an international coordinator of a spiritual organization. So, sir, I welcome you warmly to our talk show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
How do you think our lives have changed ever since the lockdown has happened? Because it has extended now.
See, the current situation has definitely changed our lives. Since the daily life and whole system has altered, it's up to an individual whether it takes it to be positive or he takes it to be a negative thing. Most of the people I have seen, they are taking it as a negative, but I'm totally a positive person. And in this lifespan, I have seen many ups and downs and many things, So see how much positive and how much negative, it has completely changed in many directions. And there will be some endings, there will be some new beginnings, there will be some reforms, there will be some transformations in every aspect of our life, right? See, whether it is our living style, whether it is our profession, whether it is our trade and industry, whether it is our education system, our eating habits, our daily habits, and even our thought process. This will definitely going to change a lot.
Yes, definitely.
And I think it must change towards a positive side.
Yes.
Unless our thought process goes in a positive side, our survival becomes difficult.
Yes.
So always hope for the best, and the Almighty is there to look after us. We don't have to worry about that. I would say this is an overhauling process. It's overhauling us, right from nature or our systems, not only from any person point of view, but in fact, our governments are also all over the world. The governments are thinking, governments' attitude is changing. They're, they are going to take steps, as per the country's requirement. And fortunately, our government is taking a lot of steps.
Yes, that is true.
We are quite hopeful.
Well, yes, we can say that because as compared to other countries, India did start the lockdown much, much earlier when it had not even crossed 1,000.
Yeah, I would say the situation would have been much better if people coming from overseas would have really gone to test themselves. If they had not escaped from airports, our it would have been much controlled earlier. And then thereafter, there are so many of people, in society there are so many of people with whatever maybe their mind designs, whatever they want to do, but they want to defy the government. So far, we would have contained this pandemic, in fact, very easily, even a fortnight before.
Yeah.
And everything is clear, everybody knows that. So, not going into detail into that, but still our government has taken drastic steps. And I hail our doctors. Salutations to our doctors. Salutations, not only doctors, I mean medical staff, nurses are also, and helpers are also included in that. Salutations to our police personnel. Salutations to our this sanitary departments and cleaning departments, sweepers, and salutations to those who are giving deliveries. So people are coming together, I have seen. People are helping. They are coming together. So these are good signs also.
Yes.
Uh, this is also showing us how can we be united. This is also showing us whom to believe, who is our good leader. This is also showing many things. It's showing social, economical, political situations before that, now, and what we have to do further. People understand. People are not the fools. Today, young blood also understands a lot.
Yes.
Uh, we will overcome it. I'm I'm sure, absolutely confident about that.
Yes, we hope so because it's been very long that everyone is at home now. So I think if we take more precautionary steps and if we, listen to what the government is saying, I think we can get over this even faster.
See, I will give you my example.
Yeah.
I stopped going after 16th of March.
Okay.
Stopped going outside at all. Stopped meeting people after 16th of March. 16th or 17th, whatever it was. And I do not know where my day goes. I've gone more busy. Starting from morning, I'm just telling you, you are talking about the change in life.
Yeah.
Starting from morning, I used to earlier do yoga for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something, sometimes lethargic, sometimes I used to leave it. So it was like that, sometimes half an hour. Though I have been doing yoga for last 5 decades, from school time.
Oh,
But
wow.
in between, we have been irregular, no, as so, because sometimes your profession compulsions, you cannot just cope with these routines. So many times we are not able to do that. Now, for last before the lockdown, I think from 18th or 19th, I started doing yoga, and it's above 90 minutes in the morning.
Oh, wow. That is amazing.
And I'm going to do that in future also, after the lockdown also. I'm not going to bother about what is going in business or who is waiting, whatever is the call. No, first I have to take my care, for my health care and my mind care, because yoga is just not your health, it is your mind also. It is connected with your spiritual thoughts also.
Yes, that is very true.
So if people are telling me that their belly has bulged out, their pants have gone tight, and I've started wearing my last year summer pants, and I have to wear a belt because they go down otherwise. So I've reduced my uh, so my pants have gone loose.
So that is actually
So I'm uh,
that is good. That is good. So you're being healthy.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm feeling very happy about it. I'm feeling very contented, and this pandemic has given me this thing. It has forced me to do that, which I was evading many times.
Yeah. So
I feel so light whole day. I feel energetic, touch wood, and I feel light. So
so
this is a change, and I think many people like me are changing their daily life also. Many people like me have started doing some exercises and all, which they were not doing. So I keep on asking people. I'm in so many groups. I may be almost 100 WhatsApp groups in different fields, and then Telegram also and portals also. And I keep on asking people, what are you doing? Are you doing any exercise? And I push them to do yoga. So this is a life changing. Then again, life changing, yeah, whatever has to happen, it has to happen. You are nothing. You cannot do anything. Whether you have a Mercedes or whether you have a bungalow or whatever you are just locked in your place. That's all. You are in self-exile. This is what is your existence in this earth, right? So we are getting into the realities, the truth of life.
okay. So, sir, I would like to go ahead with further questions which I have for you.
Yeah.
So, because we are talking about the lockdown and everything, so how do you think that the economy will be affected and is affected as of now? And how long will it take for the companies to, come back to their own?
Um, yes, the economy will be affected definitely for most of the industries. Not much for the salaried class people, because many people will be getting their salaries. Some of the salary class people may be affected a little, but ultimately, see, trade and industry is the main thing, the main focus, which can increase or decrease your economy. IT industry is doing. IT industry has not much problem. The problem is mostly on the manufacturing processes, which are non-essential. Even the essential, many things, they are doing good. In fact, many are doing very good. Many are making money, and I would say many are spending money. So let us not go into that details, but largely the industry trade will be affected, and at least it will take, according to me, it will take another 6 months to recover from that.
Okay. So, sir, so I had one question which was regarding the solar power energy. So India has
Yeah.
a tremendous potential for solar power, and because your specialty is solar power, solar energy, so there are a few drawbacks of it, like weather and the initial cost challenge. So, how do you think that in the future India can tackle so that solar power can be used properly and for the betterment?
Yeah, see, um first of all, I will just uh, give you an introduction on this. That solar has been a hot subject for last 5 6 years, and before that, nobody knew solar. And in fact, I would say that even today, people do not know much about solar. They are only hearing solar. Yeah, solar can make power. Solar can do this thing. But I would say that people really are ignorant about the advantages of solar, and they do not know the actual solar engineering. 95% of our people who are doing these projects, I mean EPC companies and all, they actually they are short of knowing actual solar energy. They are more into Jugaad technology rather than actual solar engineering. And with the prices coming down and with the rat race and price war, 95% people are using low quality things. And when you use a low quality thing, then of course the the results will be accordingly. The performance will be accordingly. And when performance is bad, people think, "अरे solar में पता नहीं solar कामयाब है कि नहीं." Before 3 4 years, many people used to ask me, "Is really solar successful?"
Yeah.
This was a normal question to me. And I have been connected with solar actually for last 35 years.
Oh.
But in India, it started only, you can say, just 10 years back only. The policies were made only 10 years back, which also for 4 years, it was not properly implemented. Then when the Modi government came, they took charge of this because Modi had already doing it in Gujarat. And by the time he came into center, he had already done a lot of solar power plants and solar this thing in Gujarat. Gujarat was leading. And it's his dream by 2022 to do 100 gigawatt. That means 1 lakh megawatt. And in this 6 years also, we have been able to do only 25 to 30% actually. Still, we have to do 70 to 75% by 2022 as per the policy laid down. There have been some bottlenecks also. One perception, one question that you asked me was about the cost effectiveness. Solar is cheap. Solar is very cheap.
Uh,
This is a misconception that solar is expensive. It is cost. The thing is that now the prices have also come down. The price earlier was 1 lakh per kilowatt, one and a half lakh per kilowatt some time back. Now it has come to approximately 45 to 60,000 depending upon the capacity of the solar plant. It has come down to lot. And there are so many benefits which government is giving on that. I will, there are some policies reforms which are required in this, in solar industry. If those policy reforms are done, we can really rise in any scale. But that has to come from the government. We cannot change, the industry cannot change the policy. It has to be changed by the government. It has to be reformed by the government. So there are certain steps to be taken in that. If those steps are taken, solar can really be more cost effective also, and it can be more beneficial also. But still it is quite beneficial. I will give you one example. Um, I installed solar power plant in my place. That was almost 5 years back, 4 years back. Yeah. When Delhi started net metering, I was quite instrumental in telling Delhi CM even before the elections, as he asked me what we should do in solar uh, in Delhi. He had no idea. He said, we are IITians, but we have zero in solar energy. So Anilji, please explain what should I do in this? What policy we should do it? I just told him, you just go for net metering, and you can give in your manifesto also that we can do 20 or 25%, which is very of Delhi requirement in solar, and it is practical, it can be done. Then I gave him an idea also practically that how it can be done. It was a brief meeting, and I told him. Then he asked me to send an email on it. Then I told him I sent him email details, and within the formation of their government, within 1 month, they started this policy net metering. And thereafter, we have seen many installations in Delhi. I have been also doing many installations in Delhi. I would give you example of my place. Uh, our cost of electricity used to be from 8,000 to 15,000, depending upon season and depending upon use. During summer, it was too much. And I installed a solar power plant in my place. And my wife uh, literally fought with me. That's okay, it's your business, but why you are spending? I'm talking about a typical thought process of ignorant people. I'm from the industry. I'm a technical person. I know about it, but my wife doesn't know. She thought she's the director of the company also. So she told me, okay, it's your business. So let the business be out of the house. Why you are spending 5 lakhs or you are importing panels for that from Europe and this and that? Why you are doing it? Why you are unnecessarily spending like that? We can spend this money in business in different way. I said no. This is the right way how we can do our business. Also, see, first of all, I believe in practice what you preach.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I'm preaching something, I should practice also. And in fact, it's my habit. Whenever I tell anything, I'm telling for yoga. Anybody, so I'm practicing it. That's why I'm telling for yoga. So that's my habit actually. So uh, I told her, I explained her, you just see what will happen. Or otherwise, you just think I have spoiled 5 lakhs. It's a loss. You just think. If you, whatever you have to think, you think. The worst you think is, I have lost 5 lakhs. But I explained her what will happen with this. When I installed, it was a small 7 kilowatt system, but it was a conceptual system, how net metering is done and what type of system. It was totally a European standard with European panels and European this thing. It was very high technological this thing. So I was setting an example what type of solar system you should install, what type of electrical safety systems you should do it in this, which people are not doing. So I was setting an example, and it was inaugurated by VIPs, actually VIPs of national level. From had invited industry associations, RWAs, and some political people also, and social people also. It was a mix of all builders, but different trade industries. It was a mix of people, society, so that they can understand what this solar system is. So next year when the summer came, so in June and July, uh, when the bills came, my wife said that this time the bills have gone up. Said, why? What happened? Oh, last month it was 860 and this month it is 830. It was in summer, in summer.
800 only.
Summer. When you were paying 12,000, 15,000. What about that? So said, no, I have got into a habit of paying only 200 rupees and in some month no money. I am now in a habit of 250, 300 rupees. So 800 is more for me. And today also, if you want, I can send you my all the bills. Today also, for last 6, even in summer, summer, my it was zero. Almost 6 months, it is zero now.
So I also have my co-host Anurag with me. So he also has a few questions he wants to ask. So I'll let him speak. So go ahead, Anurag.
Yeah.
All right. So, hi Anil sir.
Hello.
I have one question with you.
Yeah.
Just like we have seen, a lot of colleges are collaborating these days with companies, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what do you think in collaboration of college with the companies should take place? How it will look like and how it will reshape in future after this pandemic?
Uh, this is very interesting and a very important question actually. And according to me, it's a must in education pattern. It's a must, and it is very much essential. It gives a lot of benefits. I have done it a lot. See, actually, in our professional colleges like engineering, we have a system of in-plant training for 6 months or 3 months, where the student goes to companies and all. They have their training, but in fact, it is not taken actually very seriously. It's earlier it was to be more in our times. It was to be more a formality, and students used to go to companies and all for just 1 hour, 2 hours, and then furlough. But now, of course, students really they attend the whole day. Also, they do some work also. But still, I find that it is not taken so seriously, neither by the company nor by the student. See, uh, but the private colleges, especially the private colleges, there the seriousness is very low. Yes, premium institutions like mm, IITs and all premium institutions. I will not name. So our YMCA also comes into a premium institutions, and YMCA has been totally practical oriented since its inception, and practical training was given to students and taken it very seriously by industry also. So that's why these students are more successful as entrepreneurs and as industrialists and in industry. And they are almost on the top positions or they are basically entrepreneurs. So
So,
practical
sir,
training,
after Corona, yeah.
I will just give you my, during my, I was a chairman of Indian Plastic Institute Association, it's a industry association. And I was connected with IITs and Delhi Technological University and different universities. And we opened a student chapter of this association also. And I used to take students to factories to show them practical what they are actually reading in the books. Suppose they are reading about a machine in a book. They are just seeing in the blackboard or in design, but practically in their mind, they are not getting the picture. So I used to take them to the industry, show that part, show that thing, how it is getting assembled, and then go take them to another factory, which is making the product from that machine. So their concepts used to be absolutely clear about that. So that is what required in our education system.
Yes, sir. Definitely, it's very, very required, and your steps are really, really great. But my question is again, after pandemic will be over, after this college will resume, what do you think, sir? This collaboration between college and companies will hamper, or how it will be modified, basically?
Um, See, it has to come into our education pattern actually. It has to be understood by the universities also. They have to make it mandatory. It helps, it helps in such a way, it helps in bridging the industry as well as the student. Whatever field he is, whether engineering or medical or even a commerce side or different. So suppose I'm talking about a person doing BCom. He can be very well connected with some CAs or commercial this thing, or even a company in accounts department, or so that they can get a practical feel. This also builds
Right.
up attitude building, a psychological interest in the students, and a responsibility feeling कि भाई मुझे पास करने के बाद ये करना है. It develops interest into him. Otherwise, they always lack.
So, sir,
It also
what do you
helps in employment. It also helps in employment.
so after Corona, do you think this collaboration will still persist?
Uh, Again, it should. It should.
Mhm. It should. Okay.
One has to take it seriously again. One has
Again.
to
Okay.
take it seriously. The industry and companies should take it seriously. क्या होता है कि unless it is made mandatory, our habit is not to apply our mind and implement it. So Corona is mandatory. You can't do anything. So all these things are happening, right? It should do. I think we should put our voice to ministries also and institutions also to do this, and companies also. Companies are happy, because they get a person. They can pay also. They are free also.
Okay. All right. ठीक है, Swapnali, over to you.
Yes, thank you. So this is the last question which I had. That is, so you have been a part of various organizations and you have advised many people, have conducted so many conferences. So they say that organization is the key. So how do you manage to stay organized, or what is the importance of organization according to you? Staying organized.
Whether it is an organization or whether it is uh, a person's personal life, you have to organize yourself. You have to organize yourself. If you are not organized, then um, you cannot prolong properly. You cannot be successful if you are not organized. So, uh, if you are talking about an organization, then organization has to organize itself by having a vision, discipline, and responsibility. Unless that is not there, these are the main headings. Then they have their own branches like honesty, hard work, and so many things. This applies. This is two-way traffic. This is not for the employee only. This is for the employer also. There has to be transparency also. So this is as per the organization is concerned. So as far as your personal life is concerned, again, if you are not having a discipline, if you are not having a organized lifestyle, really, it becomes difficult for you to handle all the things otherwise. Uh, See, when you talk to many people, they say, "Arey yaar, I don't have time. We'll talk later." This sentence, "I don't have time," is a pet sentence of many. Long back, I used to also say, maybe 2 decades back, "Arey yaar, I don't have time." For last 10, 15 years, I've stopped saying that I don't have time. Because I take out time for many things. I am involved into multifarious activities and I take out time for everything. Then you have to see what is the priority. One of the organization said, in fact, not one organization, many people have told me, yeah, Anil, yeah, Mr. Bareja, you are omnipresent. You make it, or otherwise you always tell that I'm not coming. I'm engaged somewhere else. So I don't say, I say, जो ये कहते हैं कि I don't have time, they are not organized. They are disorganized. Right. You are busy. Everyone is busy. Right. But in your busy schedule, you have to set your priorities. What is number one? What is number two? Sometimes it happens you have 3 meetings in a same time in different locations. So what you will do? And all 3 are important. Then again you have to prioritize which is number one priority, which is number two, number three. उसमें आप क्या क्या कर सकते हैं?
Yeah, so these were just few of the questions which we have for you, sir. Thank you so much for giving your wonderful insight. It was really great having you today.
Thank you. It was nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.